Hi everyone, this is Katie Martin. I'm an Education Abroad Advisor here at Texas A&M. Thank you so much for joining us for our presentation with AIFS. Today we have Michelle from AIFS and Madison, who is a student ambassador for them. Please feel free to stick around. We'll do questions and answers at the end, but here is our presentation.
Good morning, everyone, or as you all like to say, howdy. My name is Michelle Walters, and I work for AIFS Abroad. As Katie mentioned, I am based in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I actually studied abroad with AIFS during my undergrad at the University of Limerick. Kate, Madison, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself as well.
Hi, everybody. My name is Madison Breeding, and I am a senior international studies major at Texas A&M. I study abroad with AIFS in Buenos Aires, Argentina in spring of 2020, and I'm here to answer any of your questions specifically about that region or any of our programs.
Very cool. So today is going to be focused predominantly on STEM and health science programs. But I do want to give you a general overview of AIFS as an organization. We were started in 1964, so we're one of the older and most well-known study abroad programs within the US, meaning we've sent a lot of students abroad throughout the years. We're just shy of about 2 million students who have gone on either one of our semester programs, summer programs, faculty-led programs. And so we've kind of have our hands in a lot of pots and parts of the world. We do a lot of programs in Europe, we have programs in Latin America, and Australasia, kind of all over the place. As I mentioned before, my name is Michelle. I am also, an AIFS alumni, and here's my contact info. It'll be shown throughout the presentation, but if you do have any questions that you want to send to me personally, feel free to shoot me an email. And just a quick overview of our presentation in general. We're going to have a lot of time for questions that you can ask. I'm going to highlight a few of our STEM health science programs, go over the application process, and talk a little bit about scholarships and grants, since everybody wants to know how they're going to pay to study abroad. So first and foremost, a lot of students, come to college and they may think to themselves, hey, I think I'd like to study abroad, or like, it's been something they've wanted to do since, the beginning of their academic career. But not every student is like that. So if you're here and you're kind of just beginning the process of thinking about studying abroad and you're kind of like, it seems like a cool option, I don't know. Here are some of the reasons why we, definitely think students should consider going overseas. It's really important to, get out of your comfort zone, get out of kind of what you're used to at home, and kind of go out and experience the world around us. I know right now it's a challenging time, but once it's safe to kind of get out and get on a plane again, we're really excited to be we'll be really excited to welcome you back abroad. One of the things that, most students don't realize is how few students do study abroad during their college careers. So still less than 10% of students are going overseas. Meaning that not only is it a great, opportunity for personal growth, it's also a great opportunity for your professional development as well. A lot of times, studying abroad, once you put it on your resume, is the first thing that sticks out to employers. Even before I worked in the international education field and I was doing interviews right out of college, it was the first thing that a lot of my job interviewers asked about. It's a great icebreaker question. So that's another reason, but I'm going to show us just a real quick video from some of our previous alumni and previous ambassadors as well, as they talk about why they studied abroad with AIFS and reasons why they think you should too.
I think you should study abroad with AIFS because simply they have your back.
AIFS helps you through every single thing in your study abroad experience. From start to finish, you are taken care of. Even if you don't need them, they're still there.
Guiding you through the whole process of studying abroad, especially getting your visa, if you run into any troubles abroad. But they're also so amazing at teaching you how to be your own person and do the things on your own.
They're going to not just push you outside of your comfort zone, but also allow you to fall back if it becomes too much, while still trying to urge you forward, to grow, to really flourish as an individual.
It is all inclusive. It takes a lot of the headache and the nervousness out of the equation and allows you to just have fun and experience it for what it is.
I didn't really have to worry about food, tuition, and housing, and it made my life 10 times easier abroad.
It definitely is an affordable option.
When you look at that price, you're talking about housing, tuition at school, you've got some type of meal plan, and then they've got that on-site support. It's like you get to have family abroad.
Because they're there every step of the way, from the application to flying you there, and when you're there itself, there's always a lot of support.
My number one reason would be they give you the option to be picked up from the airport. For someone that being your first time leaving the country, that's very helpful in ensuring to parents.
Everybody at AIFS is super helpful. Whenever you have questions, they reply to your emails or phone calls.
They were always there to help me out. When I felt like I was a little homesick, they sat down and talked me through it.
It's really the best program that you're going to get. It's all inclusive. The people are so nice and so supportive, and you get the best experiences through excursions, but also the academic life, the homestay life. It has everything you'd want in a study abroad program.
Everyone who works there is so wonderful and helpful. They won't really do anything for you, whether you're sick or you're homesick.
You should choose AIFS because they made my year possible, and they can make your study abroad experience possible too.
They really care about you and making sure that you're comfortable and that you don't feel overwhelmed. And if you do, they provide a great outlet to really talk to them.
For me, they helped to change my life and just helped me to grow in numerous ways. And studying abroad is a very life-changing experience, and to have them walking by you, right by your side with endless support and love and care just really helped me throughout my whole study abroad process and made it the most incredible experience that it could be.
Awesome. So we'll go ahead and skip forward to that. So if you are at the beginning of your process, there's a few things that we always suggest students take into consideration when they are kind of planning their time. And figuring out what their goals are for their programs abroad, and really just kind of getting to know what you want out of your summer or your semester program. So if you don't have an idea of where you want to go and you're just like, I know that I need to take this course or this course, but I'll go anywhere, still take time to kind of evaluate all of the things that you want to get out of your program, because before, it used to be very challenging to find STEM and health science courses, but now a lot of universities and programs are developing options for your major, so it's not as limiting as it used to be, which I think is really cool. And some of the programs that they're coming up with are really, really neat. So this just gives you an idea of the programs that we currently offer in all of our different locations. As I had mentioned earlier, we have them kind of across the world. During the summer, we also have some pretty cool and unique study and travel programs. So they're actually multi-destination options. So you're studying a specific area or major or topic, and you're kind of traveling around to different parts of either a country or a region to kind of get a comparative view of that topic. All of those courses can be found on our website along with the most up-to-date program location information. So just really briefly about the types of programs we offer. We do traditional study abroad programs where you're taking courses at either a host university or center abroad. We do internships where you're getting academic credit to do an internship in your field, but also you're taking courses as well. They can be kind of an intense thing, but if you are really wanting to get like everything you can out of your time abroad, they're a really great option. And then we do programs that are based in community engagement. So these are for academic credit as well. You're spending about 2 to 3 days a week working within the local community. So you're taking your courses maybe on Mondays and Fridays and then using all of the tools that you're gaining from those courses to work with the local community in various areas. We do programs during the semester or an academic year. We do programs during the summer. So if you want to be, if you have limited time or are looking for something that's a little bit more flexible, you can go anywhere from 2 to 12 weeks on various programs. Most programs tend to be about 4 to 6 weeks. And then we also do January term programs or winter break programs. Just double check to make sure that those dates match with your academic calendar. You'll be taking one course, so it's a pretty short time abroad, but you kind of get a good taste of what it's like overseas. Another one of the questions that we're often asked, especially from folks that are within your major or career fields, are how are these courses going to translate to my home university? Can I take courses in my major? Do I have to take courses in my major? I've had a lot of students, especially a lot of nursing students or health science students who, I just need to take a break for a summer, and I want to take art classes or something like that, or they want to do language. So it is very, very flexible. All of our programs are open to every single major, but that doesn't mean that every location is going to have the specific courses that you may need. So you need to do some research on all the various program options that you're considering, that you're looking in, to make sure that they do fit with what you're looking to take. And I always suggest students, really talk to the study abroad office, talk to your academic advisors, look at, your degree plan, and figure out what courses you can take abroad and what courses you have to take at A&M. So when I was a student at my university, the major that I had, they wouldn't actually let me take anything overseas, so I had to focus mostly on my minor or elective courses. Our programs are also flexible in the meaning that there's no previous foreign language required for most of the programs, most of the options. So there's always going to be courses available in English, and then you can take courses in the host language if you want, or you can learn the host language from beginner to advanced. It's really nice to kind of be able to not have that as a barrier. So just really quickly about what is included in an AIFS program and why a lot of students actually decide to choose to go with AIFS. And the reason why I chose to go with AIFS as a student is we're kind of known as an all-inclusive program. So within our program fees, we include everything. So your housing, meal plan, tuition, excursions, cultural activities, pre-departure support, staff overseas that are there for, if anything happens whilst you're abroad. And then we do have a round trip airfare as an optional add-on. So from, any major, for most major US cities, Dallas, Houston would probably be the two closest to you all. That's also an option. So it's really helpful to be able to budget, because you can kind of look at what the program costs right off the bat. And then you can kind of also look at what a flight package may cost as well. So I really appreciated that. I was like, well, they include meals and I know I'm going to need to eat. So I ended up choosing the program mostly because of the all-inclusive nature of it. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the specific, science, STEM, and health programs that we have. And then I'm going to let Madison jump in right after this one. These are just a few of the options that we offer. I think I'm going to talk about maybe 4 or 5 options to kind of get your imaginations rolling. And then I do have a short list at the end of some other programs that you can kind of take a look at. But I didn't want to overwhelm everyone. One of my favorite programs is actually in Buenos Aires, where Madison studied. It's a summer program, and it's a medical Spanish program that also does clinical rotations in a local hospital. So this program is taken through the University of Belgrano. You do have to have very basic Spanish skills for this one. So I would imagine maybe 1 or 2 semesters of either college level Spanish or if you've had experience in high school. Our admissions officers kind of help guide you through that. But basically it's a great way if you are looking to go into, medical school or nursing or any other health related field. It's a great way to kind of get some knowledge within medical Spanish, but also get a hands-on experience in an Argentinian hospital. So you can kind of see here, it's a pretty intensive program. You're spending a lot of hours at the hospital. From the past students that I've worked with who've gone on this program, their experience has been pretty neat and very unique, especially compared to what you would get to do in the US. And so if you are interested in this option, we can talk more about it later, or, you can check it out on our website. I'm going to let Madison jump in and just talk about her time in Buenos Aires and her experience as an A&M student.
Okay, so howdy everybody. I'm Madison Breeding, and I'm the AIFS Alumni Ambassador here at Texas A&M. And I studied abroad in Buenos Aires in spring 2020. And I know if you hear that date, you realize that's when the coronavirus pandemic happened. So I was there for about 6 weeks and then was unfortunately sent home and finished my semester online through the University of Belgrano. But I still really loved everything that I did through AIFS. Through the application process, my admissions officer was always there to answer any of my questions. there was like some changes in the visa process, and so she was always super helpful, super informational. And then, like a lot of those videos we're seeing, it is an all-inclusive package. So I had my flights taken care of. I had on-site staff in the city there to take me back to my homestay, which really calmed a lot of my nerves. I had never been that far south in Latin America, and so having somebody there on site immediately to take care of me was really just helpful. And what I really loved about Buenos Aires was the culture. I feel like it mixed a lot of like the European side. So if you were thinking of like going to Spain or something like that, there was a lot of that architecture and stuff and like French inspired. But then there was still that Latin American feel in the city, which I really loved. I am personally not within the STEM area with my major, so I can't speak much on that specific program, but I do really love the University of Belgrano. They typically have smaller class sizes, and so you really get to know your professors, and they're really, really helpful. And then I love the food, I love the culture. I learned how to tango during the 6 weeks I was there. I ate so many empanadas, which are super cheap, probably my favorite food in the world. And I really just like got to meet some awesome people from the US, from other countries, from Argentina. And so it was just a really good experience, I feel like. So yeah.
Awesome. And I'm going to have Madison jump back in a little bit to talk just about her, pre-departure experience, talk a little bit more about her housing and that kind of any tips that she may have as a fellow A&M student. Let's see. Okay, so the next program that I want to focus on is a summer program. So you'll notice I'm kind of talking a lot about summer options just because I know this is one of the better times for students in this area to get abroad. I do have a couple of semester programs that I'll share with you later. But University College London is a program that is pretty cool in the aspect that it offers 3-week courses during 2 or 3 different sessions throughout the summer. And they always have some sort of STEM-based program. So if you ever thought yourself like, oh man, I don't know where I want to go, but London is one of the most, cosmopolitan and big cities in the world. It's got a lot going on, and there's just a lot to be able to do there. And UCL, as you can kind of see some of the courses, these are just a few of the ones that they offer, has a pretty diverse course area depending on what you're looking for. So if you're into computer science or you're looking for some mathematic courses, and again, some health and medical science field courses. These are really great options. They're all going to be, they're going to basically be between 3 or 4 US semester credits. So it gives you a really cool way to take some of those courses. If you are looking for anything specific, you can actually take a look at our website, and then we can get you the syllabus and things like that. So I know a lot of times students are trying to get, a better idea of what they're going to be taking and what they're going to be doing. And so if you just get in touch with us, we can help find the syllabus, and you can use that to talk with, your advisors and figure out what really works for you. These courses were offered last summer. I know, and as we all know, the challenges of this year when it comes to travel, just make sure that you kind of keep watch of what's going to be available for next summer. So we are starting to post all of our summer 2021 programs, and it at least kind of give you some planning time to figure out. These courses are pretty cool because you're taking them with students from all around the world. So it's not just like it's going to be, AIFS US based students. There's going to be students from, other countries. There's going to be students from the UK. So it's a really cool way to take courses and get different perspectives. This is a comparative health program. So at the beginning of the presentation, way back, to 10, 15 minutes ago, I was talking about multi-travel, multi-country, multi-destination programs. This is actually one of the ones that we're offering for 2021. So if you are like, I just want a taste of a bunch of different places, I want to see, various parts of Europe, but I also still want to kind of get a course that is somewhat applicable to what I want to do. We're offering a comparative healthcare course, which I feel like in this day and age could be really, really interesting to kind of compare our experience here in the US as well as what they do in Europe, the UK, as well as I think it's, oh, sorry. Yeah, it's comparing Europe, the UK, and North America. You kind of go to London, Barcelona, and Florence. So you're seeing various parts of Western Europe mostly. And you're getting to kind of take a look at, you know, different healthcare systems. I mean, as we know, it's so different everywhere. And you're kind of, you know, really delving into what those systems do well, what the systems can, you know, improve on, or, you know, what they're trying to improve on, and how they kind of treat and take care of their, you know, their citizens and the things that the healthcare system kind of has to take on. So that's another option that I thought was kind of a cool program. Now for semester program, the University of Limerick, which again, as I had mentioned, is where I studied abroad, is a really, really great option to consider. So they are a massive university, not as big as A&M by any means, but they are a huge campus that has a lot of different areas of study. Here I kind of just cut and pasted stuff that was off of our website, but if you are looking for, you know, specific science program, you know, science lab-based options, so if you're looking for, you know, chemistry or bio or, you know, engineering courses, Limerick is pretty diverse in their course offerings. And they are really, really open to students studying abroad. And the thing that I like about the classes and some of the opportunities that they have at UL is that a lot of stuff is hands-on. So for example, some of the engineering programs and some of the engineering courses that our students have taken, you know, have actually, you know, been in the classroom, but they actually also work really closely with the community and the city. So one of the engineering classes, our students were sharing that, and I am not an engineering person, so you'll have to excuse my lack of terminology, but you know, they were working with a local classroom on just various engineering and building programs when it came to like historical Irish buildings or something, you know, it was something that was so interesting. And so they were, you know, working with students and building things with them, along with taking, you know, their regular coursework. So, you know, it's stuff that we may not be able to always get to do here in the US. You'll be able to kind of do overseas and have opportunities to get to know folks in a different way in that aspect. If you are into nursing or any sort of that area of study, they have a really huge nursing and midwifery program. I went to go visit the campus a couple years ago to kind of take a look at this option, and I swear to you, it felt like I walked in the set of like Grey's Anatomy or whatever hospital show is popular now. Because it was like, it was such a cool setup. I mean, they had everything, you know, that all of the most up-to-date technology, everything that, you know, nurses and midwives would need. And it was really cool to get to kind of just see the students in action and how they're learning. It's pretty neat campus. And then, as I mentioned, these are just a few more semester and summer locations. So I was only going to highlight a couple because I didn't want to overwhelm everyone with all of the opportunities, but as a rule of thumb, a lot of times we say, you know, universities that are based in English-speaking countries generally tend to have more courses available, but that doesn't mean that you're limited to just English-speaking countries, as, you know, we kind of looked here. You can kind of see some of the other locations that we have. And if you check on our website, all of the most up-to-date, you know, courses are going to be there. Yeah, St. George's is actually one that I will briefly mention because it's very similar to the program in Buenos Aires, Argentina, just minus obviously the Spanish language. So if you are looking for something that's not necessarily medical Spanish, but you still want the opportunity to do some sort of rotations or hands-on experience, St. George's is great during the summer. And actually, before I play this, I wonder, Madison, do you want to jump back in and just talk about, you know, like your process, you know, the application process that you went through, you know, any tips that you have as an A&M student?
Yeah, so when you're applying for study abroad through Texas A&M, all of these AIFS programs would be considered transfer credit. So you're going to need two different applications. There will be the one that you do directly through AIFS where you get an applications officer and you turn that in. But through the Education Abroad office, you're also going to have to fill out a transfer credit application. And that does take quite a while. You'll need to get all of your courses approved by whichever dean of whichever college you're in. So for example, I was in the College of Liberal Arts and I had to go to my international studies advisor and get all my courses approved. And then also go to the Department of Hispanic Studies and get all of my Spanish courses approved. So if you're doing one of the STEM ones, you'd probably need to go to your advisor. And then if you're doing the program in Buenos Aires or something like that, you'd probably also have to go to the Department of Hispanic Studies. So you need to know that when you're applying, especially on the Texas A&M side, that can take up to 2 weeks just to get those courses approved. And that's on top of filling out like healthcare information, why you want to study abroad. I would say the AIFS application didn't take too long, but the Texas A&M one, you really need to make sure you're on top of that. I know our due dates in the fall are in like October if you want to study abroad in the spring. So you need to like really get on top of that. I'm not sure about our due dates for studying abroad in the fall and the summer though. But yeah, you need to make sure that you're giving yourself plenty of time to get that filled out. But I would say through the AIFS side of applying, my admissions officer was there pretty much as soon as I opened up an application to well into like my first few weeks of being in Argentina. So they're always there to like make sure you're okay, make sure you're getting your stuff done. The visa process was a little bit more difficult and they can't advise directly on that. A lot of that you have to do on your own, but they do give you all of the information, all the websites and stuff you need to do for that. So definitely be checking on whichever country you're going to and if they require a visa for like a certain period of time that you're there. But otherwise, yeah, I would say the biggest part about the application process through Texas A&M and AIFS is doing dual applications and just making sure you get those in on time, because that was a little bit stressful, but it's very much worth it.
Thanks, Madison. And she touched on a really great point of just planning ahead. I think that's one thing that, you know, we always try and get students to do as they're thinking about it. I know it's not always possible. Sometimes, you know, this time seems right, so it may seem a little bit more last minute, but and we can kind of help you through that too. But it is great if you can plan, you know, 6 to 8 months in advance and just get ready to prepare, because you're going to want to, you know, figure out your finances, figure out just the applications, the visas, as Madison said, can be a bit of a challenge, you know, figuring out scholarships and grants. And so I always tell students to really like figure out a program this semester before the semester before they want to apply. So for example, if you're looking to go abroad in the spring of 2021 or 2022, really figure out your program over the summer. So once you're back on campus, you can kind of, you know, get all your ducks in a row and kind of, you know, really then focus on, okay, well, now I want to do scholarships, or now I want to, you know, apply for that. So as she said, the AIFS application is not intense by any means, but you do want to, you know, just make sure that, you know, with the A&M side of it, you are kind of, you know, getting everything done as you need to. I am going to play one more video for y'all, just to kind of like give you just kind of the steps that we suggest. This is from our admissions officer, Erin, and she kind of talks just about, you know, a few reminders that people need to keep in their head as they're preparing to go abroad.
My name is Erin Croft, and I'm an admissions officer here at AIFS Study Abroad. I'm here to help you get started on making your study abroad dream a reality. Follow these steps to get organized and begin your journey of studying abroad. With so many study abroad program options available, it can be challenging to make a decision. AIFS is here to help from the very start. First, be sure to consider your academic focus and the location. Review the sample list of course offerings for an idea of the classes that you might take during your program. You will also want to set up a meeting to chat with your advisors about credit transfer ahead of time. Knowing when you'd like to study abroad can help you determine where you'd like to study abroad. AIFS offers programs during the fall, spring, winter, and summer terms. It is never too early to share your interest in studying abroad with your family. The sooner you start the conversation, the sooner their questions can be addressed.
The AIFS website has a section for parents that covers safety abroad, program fees and dates, benefits of studying abroad, and more.
Find some time to sit down and chat with your family so that you can begin planning your study abroad journey. Make an appointment with your academic advisor to ensure that courses and credits are approved for transfer. It is important to be aware that your home university may have specific steps that they require you to follow on their side. If you're receiving financial aid, be sure to meet with the financial aid office on your home university's campus to see if the funds you are receiving are applicable to your semester abroad. Be on the lookout for scholarships and grants that you may be eligible for. Over 50% of participants receive financial support through AIFS in the form of scholarships and grants. Complete the online application for the study abroad program of your choice. This process has a few steps and does take some time to complete, so be sure to get started as soon as you are ready. Apply for or renew your passport as soon as possible. Your passport is absolutely essential to your trip abroad. It is vital that you read all of the information provided to you by your admissions officer, as you may need to apply for a student visa. Visit us at AIFSabroad.com for more information about our programs and to get started with the application process. We are here to answer all of your questions and to help you every step of the way. We look forward to working with you.
Okay, so like Erin said, we have staff over in Connecticut, which is where all of our application kind of process is taken care of. So if you're just in the beginning stages of wanting to, consider programs, or you're looking for options, still feel free to either get in touch with them or with myself directly, and we can kind of help you through the process, even if you haven't officially figured out what program or location, or, if you even are just considering going abroad. We're just kind of here to support you through all of that. We also have, obviously, Madison is an A&M student, so she can give you all the nitty-gritty details on her end, and she'll be with us through the academic year, not too far from y'all, so you can get in touch with her too. Really quickly, I do want to, just touch points on health and safety abroad. When it comes to all of our programs, obviously, this is one of the most important aspects of what we do, is making sure that your program, that whilst you're on your program, you are, kept healthy and safe. So with our programs, as I mentioned, it does include your health insurance. And if you decide to travel after your program, your health insurance will cover you for up to 30 days after the program end date. While you're abroad, we do have staff on each of our programs. We call them resident directors, and then their team are there to support you locally if anything does come up. So whether it's something, small, like a little bit of a cold and you need help translating to get to the doctor, or, if there is any sort of, natural disaster or terrorism or anything like that, they are there to kind of like help guide you through. I mean, Madison had firsthand knowledge of having to deal with disruption during her time abroad. And so like our staff is there to kind of guide you through all of that. We also do try and, make sure that all of the funds that you're putting towards your study abroad program are, financially secure. Everything that we list on our website that is included in your program is guaranteed within the funds that you put forward. Which leads me to hit on one of the most important aspects and also most asked questions that we get when it comes to studying abroad is, how in the world am I going to pay for it? I mean, this all seems great. Like, I want to go travel the world. I want to go see it. I just am a college student with loans. So, you need to work with your financial aid office and figure out what, financial aid will go abroad with you. And then check out our website for other opportunities. As Erin mentioned, over 50% of our students do receive financial support from AIFS in the form of either a scholarship or a grant. All of this information is listed within your student portal. So once you kind of like start an application, or you're kind of looking at different, stuff, you can kind of get on your student portal and see exactly what's available for what term or when. We have scholarships for summer programs, semester programs. We have grants for J-term programs. So it just kind of varies amongst the time frame. And then also we do, need-based scholarships, merit-based scholarships, diversity scholarships, kind of our hands are in a lot of areas with that. So one of the things I also want to mention is that on our website, we obviously list like the AIFS specific scholarships, the ones that, you would have to go on an AIFS program to obtain, but we do have an additional list of other outside scholarship opportunities. So even if maybe you're like, AIFS is great, it's maybe not the right program for me, definitely just check out the website too to get those lifted scholarships. We talk a lot about the Gilman Scholarship, Boren Scholarships, FEA Scholarship, all of these different ones and these different opportunities. And we do have a really great resource on I keep saying on our website, but we do have a really great resource that's available. It's a creative funding webinar that we offer. You can find it on YouTube or online, or we can, get you the link if you ask for it. And it's really looking at virtual fundraising. So in this day and age when we can't necessarily go out and, ask for money or some people aren't even working. So you can figure out ways to still plan and prepare for your study abroad from home. A few more resources just to list off. If you can kind of check and see, definitely keep track of the State Department website at this point. Very, very important as things are constantly changing when it comes to travel. We're hoping to be up and running by spring, and if not, fully up and running in spring, in summer, really having, a resurgence of being ability to travel. Diversity Abroad and Fund for Education Abroad are two great websites for just general information about various student populations or financial support too. And then the last thing I'm going to mention is that if you are wanting to get more information, if you aren't watching this live and you're kind of, like, oh, I have some questions about these programs, we are doing a number of open houses, as we like to call them, or drop-in info table hours, where they're going to be staffed by AIFS alumni and staff members, and then our partners also with Global Experiences. The open house sessions are somewhat similar to kind of what we're doing today. So they're going to have a specific major/career field that they're going to be talked about, and the whole calendar can be found at this website below. So now I'm just going to open up to questions. I don't know, Katie, if any questions have popped in, or if there's anything else you'd like us to touch point on.
Nothing's popped in right now, so I don't have any questions on my end.
Nope.
So yeah.
Cool. I did have one thing I actually wanted Madison to kind of touch on. Another really popular topic is housing. So before we before we end this, I know students are always like, well, what's the housing going to be like? Or what is, and you would have stayed in a homestay, which I know students are kind of a little bit iffy about too, when they're first researching. Do you want to give any, tips or any suggestions on that aspect or stuff? Anything really about housing?
Yeah, so I did stay in a homestay, and through AIFS, we had the choice between either a homestay or these like student housing apartments that, I don't know, they had a lot of people. I had a friend that lived in one of them. So it wasn't just AIFS students in the apartments, but it was all like college-aged kids living there. But with the homestay, I was in an apartment with a single mother, and she had two sons that were 18 and like 24. So they were kind of close to my age, which was super great. They were kind of like my brothers. And then I had one more girl who was also studying abroad through AIFS who lived in the other room. She actually ended up being one of my super close friends because we would eat meals together. We would walk to the university together. And so I was really able to build that with her. But I definitely would suggest staying in a homestay because I would pretty much start my mornings speaking Spanish, go to school, speak Spanish, come back and speak Spanish. And I know the people that lived in the apartments, like when they came back, they would just speak English with their friends. And one of the major things I wanted was like language acquisition. So I would get to come home and talk to my host mom about my day. And okay, my Spanish wasn't perfect, so sometimes it was awkward, but she really pushed me to like be better. And I felt like I learned a lot more just through her than I was in class. I mean, I did learn a lot in class, but through her, I was able to learn a lot more slang and really get to know the culture. And she was so sweet. I loved her so much, and it just made me feel so loved and like I had somebody there for me. So I don't know, if you're prone to loneliness, I would say stay with a family because they'll really help you and really support you on the ground. And you might meet some roommates. I know people had roommates who were from like Italy and stuff who were also studying abroad there. So you might meet people from other countries. And I just think it's a really great way to get connected to the culture and find suggestions about what it's like around town, and just really get that family like homey feel.
Yeah, we didn't have an option to do a homestay in my program, but after, talking to all of the students who did do homestays and then visiting some on my own, as I visited the programs throughout the years, I was like, this is such a cool opportunity. I was like, man, missed out. So cool. Well, I'm going to pop up my contact information up here just as we end the presentation. So if anyone does want to get in touch with me, feel free to shoot me an email. I can also, put you in contact with Madison if you would like to be, since I don't think there's any good way to type your info in. But yeah, so we can kind of connect that way. And then if you do have any questions, feel free to get in touch with us whenever. But thanks for joining and listening in.
Thanks so much for doing this. And then this will be this is recorded and it'll be saved on Texas A&M's Education Abroad website. So thank you guys so much for coming.
Thanks so much, Katie. Thanks for your help. Thanks, Madison.
You're welcome.